All right, good evening, everybody. Severe weather popping and quite a storm going in Macon County right now with a severe thunderstorm warning. And this storm has been intensifying over the past 20 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes, and really taken off with the lightning. So if you're anywhere in Macon County, you know the drill. We're not talking tornado stuff here, but we are talking some gusty winds and some hail coming down and a ton of lightning with this storm. All right, so this warning, let's get the exact wording on all this, goes until 7:45. It does include a little bit of Dooley County toward Byronville there. That's if it floats south enough. But right now it's all over Montezuma, heading into town from the north and east. All right, let's see, maybe inch in diameter hail. Let's see what else we have here. It's only moving at about 10 miles an hour toward the south, a little bit south-southwest, and maybe some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in there. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the hail on this, which has been really ramping up over the past 10-15 minutes. You can see now we're looking at, let's get a check on that. Yeah, getting around an inch in diameter with these hailstones right here. Let's zoom in and look, and this gives us an idea obviously where the strongest part of the storm is. It's pretty confined, the hail core is, but that is running right there between 49 and 224 heading into town. So if you are in Montezuma, or know someone who is, again, I'm not talking about a tornado warning with this, but we are talking about some pretty large hail, again, around an inch in diameter on the scale, and it's an intensifying storm, so it is really just now taking off. You can see just back 10 minutes ago, there were some small hailstones, and then watch how I go forward, how it's just blossomed here. So it is a storm that is ramping up. Let's see, outside of that, because I know we have other storms that are getting going here, let's take a look at some of the others. We do know we have Macon County until 7:45 with that one. New storms developing, which are going to be here for parts of Houston, Bleckley, and Dodge, rolling toward Pulaski. So this is a new storm complex that's just getting going here. Back around Dublin, seeing a little bit trying to form, and this is kind of the beginning stages of some of this. So we'll see if they turn into something bigger. Obviously, that's the biggest game in town right now. Let me check on a few things here. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45 for Macon County. It does include the northwest corner of Dooley. All right, let's see. Let me get you over to see if I can see any comments from anyone. All right, got a lot of folks on board here. Again, the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have for right now is that one in Macon County, but it is really showing off. Seeing a lot of outflow boundaries from different storms that we had earlier, and you can follow some of these green lines. There's a wind coming up right there, so we're seeing new storms develop along that. But this right here is one that, again, it's not weakening yet. And most of the storms that we've seen through this afternoon have been pretty quick ones, just pulse thunderstorms that fire up. They don't stay around very long. They may put out a little bit of hail, some gusty winds, and they almost immediately collapse. That's not the case with this one. Again, the hail size, we're looking at about an inch in diameter. The hail data that we get in is a little bit behind as far as where it may be now. This storm is moving pretty slowly, so if you're seeing the hail core here, it may be a little bit farther down in here by now. But again, we're talking right in Montezuma. So again, there's the new scan that just came in. You can see the hail core still hanging around at about an inch in diameter on the scale here. Again, slow moving, but right over town. So there could be some wind damage with some of this, maybe some 60-mile-per-hour wind, something like that. But I think the hail could also do a little bit of damage as well. So obviously you want to stay away from windows. If we usually ask for storm pictures and stuff like that. But on this one, on this storm, just make sure you stay inside until this is passed, because we're seeing a pretty good bit of lightning with that as well. And you can see the lightning strikes. Let's take let me get in on this a little better here. Let's see. See if it'll let me do it with that. All right. So over the past 10-15 minutes, you're looking at 400 lightning strikes. And the majority of those are positive. So those are cloud to ground lightning strikes. So dangerous in that regard as well. It's not just the wind and the hail threat, but the lightning. We're seeing cloud to ground. Again, no panic with any of this, obviously. Just stay inside, away from windows, wait for this thing to roll through. It is not moving very quickly. So it's going to take its time coming across. It's only moving at about 10 miles an hour toward the south. And let's take a look at some of the other stuff up here. If you're in Peach County, this is all just normal rain. Same thing for Crawford, not seeing anything severe at all here. The second place one, if we were looking at another one that would get our attention, would probably be this. It's in Bleckley heading toward Pulaski. It is not severe, but let's check and see with hail. There's a little bit in there, a little bit of pea-sized hail in there. Let's see what that ding was about. It's just another random ding. We've had that going on for a while. Sometimes it's not actually for warnings, so, but I like to check on it and make sure it's not. You can kind of see right along through here, kind of an edge where, you know, these storms are kind of developing, and then they're mainly south and west of there. But this by far is the biggest one that we have. Again, lightning strikes I've seen over the past 10-15 minutes, about 400 strikes, and the majority of those are cloud to ground. So those are, you know, the ones that are cloud to cloud. Obviously, you don't have to worry about those as much unless you're hanging out in a cloud. But so some dangerous lightning with this storm, and again, the hail core. And that's how we're going to really determine the strength of this storm as it goes along. You know, is it strengthening or collapsing? Let's see as we go back. You can see this is at 7 o'clock, smaller size, going into the yellowish colors here as we get at 7:03, and then hitting the bright yellow, which is about an inch in diameter, at 7:06, right through Montezuma. And that's the latest scan right there, which still puts us at about an inch in diameter. So we're not weakening yet. So you're seeing right over town. I could sit here and go through all the streets, but if you're in downtown Montezuma, that's all of them. And again, a slow mover, barely moving toward the south, southwest maybe, at around 10. And again, some strong wind possible in there as well. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible. You see as I back it up, you can see the movement is a little bit south-southwest, right over Montezuma now. And again, a hail core being kind of an indicator of where our stronger storms are. See just a touch here in northern Macon County, and then maybe some pea-sized hail in Bleckley heading toward Pulaski, toward the south and west. Other stuff that we have out there, obviously the only severe warning we have is for Macon County. And again, the northwest, I mean the extreme northwest corner of Dooley County. It's mainly staying in Macon County. Here's the line. So again, a ton of lightning strikes with this, definitely making a racket out there. Let's see, here is the Perry Skycam. It's really wrapped up where you can't see much of anything now, but earlier you could see some definition on the northeast side of the storm, but now it's just all clouds, so not going to be able to see much in that regard. Let's see what it's doing with temperatures out there. Haven't knocked the number down in Montezuma yet. Cochran at 78, though, some rain-cooled air there. And the heat index everywhere else, though, really up there. So it's just a radar shot for us to look at. Again, the Skycam not going to be able to show us much of anything there or on the top side of it. And again, what we are looking at with that Perry Skycam is mainly this stuff right here, not even seeing the main part of that storm. This has all started to kind of fill in with some rain. All right, that's another rogue beep. All right, just see, do we have a new scan in? Yeah, it looks like this thing is still going. I don't see any weakening with this. I mean, let's go in and check on it. Yeah, sitting right at about an inch in diameter, so you're talking some pretty decent sized hailstones there. There's a little bit to go over in western parts of Macon County, but this is by far the big show. So this is a pretty big hailstorm coming right through Montezuma. Now, as you get on the other side of the river, you're probably going to be looking at smaller hailstones if you are in, say, western Montezuma here. You get over in Oglethorpe, crossing over. But that may still kind of creep in there a little bit as we go through time. Let's see, the motion of this, if we go backwards and forward, backwards. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit south-southwest, west-southwest, I guess I should say. Yeah, so it's more Montezuma, but Oglethorpe can have a little piece of this. And you're probably already at least seeing, even here, half-inch diameter hail there. All right, just looking at some different stuff. But again, this is by far the big show. A lot of lightning, as I mentioned. So it's got a little bit of everything. It does not have a tornado in it. So there's the silver lining in all those clouds. But it is a pretty strong severe thunderstorm warning here with the hail and the possibility of some gusty winds. New scan just coming in, and it's still very impressive with the hail. Let's see, I'm looking at the wind. It's mainly for a hail threat in the Montezuma area right now. Probably still seeing some pretty gusty winds. Oglethorpe spreading toward the south and west here. But the hail threat is for sure. All right, let's zoom back out and take a look. That stuff that is in Milledgeville heading into Pulaski barely has two little spots here of maybe some pea-sized hail, if that. So that one is not concerning as far as severe weather. It's mainly just this one. But this one, again, really showing off as it heads toward cutoff. So again, this is right over town. So once it passes, we should have no problem getting pictures in on this. There are enough folks, and there's a new scan, and look at this one. Possibly even over an inch in diameter. So this thing is still strengthening out there. So the hailstones are getting bigger. As it rolls toward the south-southwest. Again, watch how, I'm going to move the map so you can see it. I'm going to back up, going back into the end of the 6 o'clock hour. You can see the smaller hailstones, and as we've been going forward, really blowing up to hitting the largest diameter now. Again, those huge updrafts and these storms really punching up there, and what happens is, your rain falls and you have hailstone coming down, it gets kicked back up in the updraft, or gets some water on it, adding a ring to it. It's like you can cut hailstones and see rings like a tree. Gets tossed back up in the updraft again, up into the upper levels of the atmosphere, which is below freezing, freezes, comes back down, gets rain in it again, goes back and keeps over and over again. So the larger hailstones are a good indicator of how strong this storm is, that it's able to hold the weight of those kind of hailstones. And right around Drayton Road looks to be where we're seeing the majority of the larger hailstones. But again, this sucker has gone right through Montezuma and is now kind of moving a little bit south of town. Let's see if we can get them. I'm not showing the rain because this shows us where the worst part is. It's just by looking at the hail core. So we got a little bit of southwest movement with some south in there too. So looks like most of the hail is now south of Montezuma. Let's do a check on other storms that are out there. I haven't looked at the comments, but I'm sure some folks are asking, especially about maybe the Milledgeville going into Pulaski. This is not severe. This in Lawrence County is not severe. All this that we're seeing here, Peach, Crawford, West Bibb, Southern Monroe, just normal thunderstorms for now, and hopefully they stay that way. This is an anomaly looking at everything else here. Everything else is pretty much behaving. So If you're outside of that yellow polygon, you do not have severe weather. You have some much needed rain. Enjoy that. There's another rogue beep. And look at the lightning again. I did a sample on it a minute ago. We're talking about over 10, 15-minute stretch, over 400 lightning strikes just confined right around Montezuma. It does look like it's spreading out a little bit toward on the western flank there. Watch your lightning here. But this is the main part. Again, that hailstorm just came right through Montezuma. Upwards of 1 inch in diameter hailstones with a pretty concentrated hail core that is not relenting at this point. Let's see. Well, at least it's come down from the bright yellow. Probably still looking at somewhere near, yeah, still close to 1 inch in diameter. Hopefully that's a sign that this is weakening down. But I'm not buying that just yet. So Montezuma, as far as the hail is concerned, looks like that's already made its way south of you, but you still have a lot of lightning and possibly some heavy rain and maybe some wind out there still. I'll tell you what, this is how we'll be able to tell. Let's do this and then take the lightning off. Yeah, so here's where all the action is. There's where the heaviest rain is. And this is where the hail core has been coming in right here. So leftover rain is what you have now from Macon County spreading back to Marshallville to Fort Valley. But the part that's the concerning part would be this leading edge right here. And let's see about that. Well, it looks like the loop stopped. Let me go back to it. There we go. So outside of all this, as we look at our whole area, it's kind of a development line right along through here. And then everything south and west of there is where everything's popping out, which makes sense. It's right along with where the level 1 that we're in, which is a low-end severe threat, matches up with that. The Lawrence County storm looks like that's starting to fall apart. This one, Bleckley into Pulaski, it's still out there. It's kind of stretched out in a linear fashion here, but we're not seeing, I saw a little bit of small hail in there, but not a huge deal. South Bibb, right, Bibb Houston, north of Warner Robins here, some rain. Again, much needed rain. All of this is great news. That's just not what came through Montezuma. You don't want to see all that with it. Again, no tornado warning. We're not talking about tornadic weather here. This is mainly hail producers. That's the main problem, but the wind, at least in the onset with the leading edge, is a problem. Let's see if we get a new scan in here in a minute. While we wait, let's look at the, I don't even see any hail and anything else. Yeah, it's just that storm. And you can see it's south of Montezuma and Oglethorpe now. Kind of just running right down the river now. So if you have folks on a hot Friday afternoon that are hanging out along the water, you may want to tell them, they're in southern Macon County, that quite the hailstorm coming down. All right, just looking at some stuff here. And that warning goes until 7:45. Okay, well, let's see. I'm looking at other things, seeing if I see any sort of damage reports. I don't see that. All right, over to the comments. Looks like I've missed a few. We're good in Byron. I see some questions about Warner Robins, Byron. All that's fine. It's just normal rain, normal thunderstorm stuff. What about weather towards Luther Williams Field? Yeah, I do have the Bacon playing tonight. There's no severe weather. There's actually no weather for the most part. Now, if you are at Luther Williams and you look toward the south, you can see the beginning toward the airport of a new storm starting to fire up. Let's see, this is the Perry Skycam. All right. Take you to the Macon Skycam now. Definitely is, enough fuel out there, heat, humidity. Yeah, if you look, as I come around, you can see kind of a towering cumulus there in the center. And then as you go on over, you can see probably the reason why we're getting asked about Luther Williams Field. But that's South Macon heading south is what it's looking like. All right, severe thunderstorm warning. Dooley, Macon County, thunderstorm damage threat considerable. When we don't see this tag very often. Wind 70 miles per hour, hail 1 3/4 inches in diameter possible. Let's go back. So this is one our newsroom will want to check on here to see how this went going through Montezuma. It is being extended now with a new warning. It goes until 8:15 as this carries out of Macon County into Schley and Sumter counties. Dooley's technically in it, but it's just the western edge. So a ton of lightning, 70-mile-per-hour winds possible. Again, a tag, we call a tag, when you see a severe thunderstorm warning listed in the chat room, it's generally, garden variety, not all the time, severe thunderstorm warning, but every once in a while they'll put a little extra verbiage, and it says thunderstorm damage threat considerable. Winds 70 miles per hour, hail 1 3/4 inches. Those are some massive hailstones. Let's go and look at the hailstones ourselves. At least on the data we're getting in, it doesn't show it as large as that. National Weather Service has a few more tools. So if they're seeing that, that's what we're going to go with. That is not far from leaving Macon County here in a little bit, but that is a fierce, severe thunderstorm warning right there. Again, we're not talking about tornadic. It's not a spinning cell here as far as a tornado is concerned. But you can see how the hail was coming through Montezuma just a little while ago. So it's big hail producer, and definitely the wind at the onset, at the leading edge, is there. Let's go back now, and you can see more development as you get into South and West Bibb, and then from there it goes Crawford, Peach, and I know I'm not looking at the comments right now, and I know I'm probably getting a lot of questions about all these areas. Unless you are in Macon County, you do not have severe weather. Everything else that we're watching are things that are starting to blossom, if you will, but right now we're not seeing it become severe. This in Bleckley going to Pulaski is getting a little bit of movement on it now toward Hawkinsville. That is not severe. What we're seeing on the Skycam in South Bibb and eventually heading into Crawford, Peach, all this stuff right here, not severe, but something we're keeping an eye on. And we can tell, again, a lot of times by looking at the hail signatures. We do see a little bit in Peach and Crawford, some small hail around Byron. Let's see as we go backwards. And we didn't see it, now we do as we go forward. So that means that is a strengthening storm. Again, we're not talking about a tornado warning. The only severe thunderstorm warning we have is here. These others are thunderstorms that are starting to grow a little bit, and they may put down some hail, but right now they're not doing what the Macon County storm has done. All right. More beeps that are, all right, that's continuing the severe thunderstorm warning still for All right, what that is the original severe thunderstorm warning for Macon and Dooley County, mainly Macon County, continues until 7:45, even though there's been a new one laid over on it that goes until 8:15 right here. But it's just driving it back home that this one is still a very strong storm. Again, thunderstorm damage threat, they're using the word considerable, winds 70 miles per hour, 1 3/4 inch diameter hail. All right, we can even put the hail tracks on there. So what this is going to do, I'll turn hail off. Let's see. All right, so this is a feature I show every once in a while called hail tracks. What it's doing is it's taking the whole history of it. There's 6:45, top right of your screen, the clock, 7 o'clock, and notice how the hailstones have gotten bigger as it made its way through Montezuma. Now, they have tailed off in our data that we have farther toward the south and west. Of course, once you start to get out into this area, you're getting in between a lot of different radars here, so that's, in the radar sense, kind of no man's land, where sometimes, if the Weather Service is seeing it, that's what we're going to go with. But the hail signature I'm seeing now is smaller, but this is wording that they're using. Let's see if there's anything else inside that text. All right, here's some actual wording inside the warning. Golf ball size hail, 70 mile per hour wind gust. Impact, people and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect considerable tree damage. Wind damage is also likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. So that's what we've been talking about for the past half hour or so coming through Montezuma, and it just continues now going south and west into Sumter County. A lot of energy in that storm. And again, just hundreds of lightning strikes. And a lot of those lightning strikes are positive lightning strikes. So you're talking cloud to ground. So it's not a tornado warning, but still centermost room in your house away from windows. You got lightning popping like this everywhere, and hail that if it's coming in at an angle, depending on where your windows are, it can do some damage. But if you're in the centermost room of your house, you should be fine. 70 mile per hour winds though. If you know someone who is, say, Sumter County, as this comes down toward the south and west, it's maybe in a mobile home type situation, something like that, if they could maybe seek shelter somewhere a little bit stronger than that. Again, it doesn't have to be a tornado to have wind damage. Straight line winds can still do damage. And again, the wording here, again, especially with the hail, golf ball size hail, people, quote, people and animals outdoors will be injured. I expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Tree damage, the whole 9 yards. Everything else that we're seeing up in here, again, to go around robin again, all this is in South and West Bibb, Crawford, Peach, Houston, Pulaski, Lawrence County, Johnson County, a little bit over here. None of that is severe. This is the only one that is. Now, again, on our data, the hail size shows it coming down in size, but that is not what the National Weather Service is saying. Again, you're kind of getting away from a lot of your sources when you get farther out, and so we're going to go with what they're saying on that. And again, the wind is impressive. Let's see if we can jump over. It's hard to see a lot of the wind where this is. I know this looks erratic. I'm moving it around, trying to catch between different radars. I hope I'm not making you sick with that. And again, if you look at where the level 1 for severe threat is today in the green, this all lines up right in it. So good job today, SPC, putting out the level 1. The storms are firing right in that shaded area. And if you're north and east of this, I really don't expect severe weather. I think it's mainly going to stay in the southwestern counties. It's actually right in the center of that green. All right, let's see. Until we know some new info, what else do we have going on? How about the high-res model for tonight? Let's see. It's not picking up too well in the storm now, but it does show that even development like we're seeing now continues through 9 o'clock, 10. Again, this doesn't mean this is all the exact locations, but you get the idea. There's we go forward to 11 o'clock midnight. That should do it. But still some activity for a little while longer. All right, let's see. Okay, there's some extra commentary from Peachtree City on that storm. And a beep that is nothing again. All right, wording was increased for the storm in South Macon County heading south-southwest. Reflectivity up, 50 dBz, was spotted at 46,000 feet. Extremely high up in the storm, and the core seems to be falling out quickly. Locations in the warned area could see hail between 1 to 2 inches and damaging wind gusts. So as the core is collapsing, all of that wind and hail is just racing out of it. And that's what we're seeing leaving Macon County going into Sumter now. So pretty confident that in this general area, there's some damage out there, either from wind or from hail, and maybe even some lightning stuff there as well. So definitely a lot of lightning. It's got pretty much everything to it except for a tornado. Doesn't have that. But I'm sure getting a lot of folks' attention on a Friday night. The stuff in Pulaski County looks to just be regular old thunderstorms. Occasionally we'll see some little bitty pea-sized hailstones trying to show up, but that's about that. Let's see what else we have. Lawrence County, that flared up around Dublin, fell apart. Dudley trying to get something going there, but some of these are still having a hard time staying together. Johnson County, southern Washington, that's trying to develop. And then, of course, what we're seeing right around the airport, which is amazing. We may actually show that we got some rain today once it lands in that rain gauge. Crawford into Peach County, again, just normal thunderstorms, normal rain, good rain. Let's look at the hail core again. And again, from our data that we're seeing, it looks like everything, all the big hailstones are gone, but I'm still going to go with the Weather Service. Again, a few more tools in the arsenal there, and more eyeballs. They've got folks looking at this in Peachtree City, scanning it, so we'll go with that. Good news is some much-needed rain in a lot of places outside of this Macon County storm coming down. As you look in south here in actual Macon, not Macon County, you can see rain coming down as you head toward the airport there. And you can see the outside edge. Sometimes just looking into the dark abyss, you can't really tell what it is, but and again, this stuff is moving toward the right side of your screen, right, and angled back away from town. So if you are one of those at Luther Williams or somewhere out this Friday night, what you're seeing in the Macon area is developing in South Bibb, but it is moving toward the southwest away. Same thing if you're in Lizella. Now, if you're in Warner Robins, around the base, seeing some rain there. This is all with that storm developing in South Bibb. I don't really see any hail in any of this other than a little small postage stamp here south and west of Byron, maybe a 3 pea-sized hailstones. All right. All right, let's see some of the comments. Thunder in Byron, not bad yet, scared my dog. Okay. Everyone gets rain but Byron. Hold on, Barbara, that might change. Let's see. You might get some of that that's in South Bibb coming down. Will there be development in North Bibb? Jonathan, you could, but it's not looking very likely. It's mainly kind of right along kind of that line where you're seeing things develop. This seems to be the area here and underneath that. I mean, at least for now. We may see some later, which wouldn't be a bad thing. As far as the big stuff, though, this is where it is. That warning for Macon County goes for a little over 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, I should say. And we'll see how that goes. That's for the first warning. The second one goes until 8:15, but that's getting more into Sumter. And let's see, wait, reading, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's getting more into Sumter and Schley counties there. All right, let's take the lightning off. Yeah, the main brunt of this storm is leaving Macon County now, heading into Schley and Sumter. As I have the lightning off, so you can kind of get an idea where the heavier rain is. Pulaski into southern Houston here. Again, none of this is severe. This is just some great rain. If it's not severe, that's a great way to spend a Friday afternoon, Friday night. Hang out on the porch and watch the rain come down. Feel the breeze. It's this stuff in Macon County that's not much fun. Again, by all accounts, looks like we had a pretty decent hailstorm. Ripped right through Macon County, especially right through Montezuma, with some strong 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And most of that is leaving Macon County. There's still some rain left over. I'm talking about this front edge right here is where, that's the knife edge. That's the part where the strongest winds, and then the hail, of course, in there as well. So in about a minute, see this first polygon drop off. This second one is the one that goes until 8:15. All right. So do about, about 30 seconds left on that warning. And again, as we go back around the horn, yes, we are seeing thunderstorms mainly in the southwestern half of our area. But again, none of this is severe. Lightning strikes are ticking up a little bit. So, I mean, there is development, and it's intensifying in some of these spots. But as of now, they're not severe. And of course, if any of that changes as we go through tonight, I will be right here watching it, and I'll pop back on. Let's do a hail look again. There is a little bit right here on the Bibb Twiggs line with that storm that's in South Bibb, a little bit south and west of Byron. But outside of that, they're staying below severe limits for now. And hopefully it'll stay that way, but definitely starting to see more in the way of rain and lightning from Crawford, South Bibb, Peach, covered up right now. And again, if you're in Byron, hold on, you've got rain on both sides of you. If you were going to see some, it would be coming from your northeast. It would be coming in from South Bibb, northern Houston, crossing over 75 maybe in a little bit. Houston into Pulaski. Again, that storm is not severe. At times it showed some little small hail in there, but I'm not seeing much in the way of that now. Maybe some gusty winds with some of that. And as we look at hail size again, you talking about running it?
Yeah, it was running until 7:45, and now I see an extension to 8:15.
Yeah, that's the second one from Macon County down. We can keep that one going. Yeah, that'll work. Thank you, Connors. Okay, so that warning, the original warning, until 7:45 is gone. The other one for Macon, Dooley, parts of Dooley, into Schley and Sumter continues until 8:15, but as far as the Macon County part of it, it looks as though most of that has already come through there. It actually looks like it's, maybe it's an illusion. It feels like it's picked up speed a little bit. Let's see. Southwest at 15, yeah, going up a little bit from the 10 miles an hour earlier. So a little more forward speed. And again, it's pretty much in Schley and Sumter counties now. So I'll keep an eye on all this as we go through this evening, see if any of this decides to get a little unruly. So far, it's not. So enjoy the much needed rain and the cool down from this. And if something pops up like this, if we start to see warnings come in here, I'll pop right back on. So for now, though, we'll see you. Thanks.